What's up, you guys? American, welcome back to my channel. No, you grow up. So in today's video, I want to talk about something that nobody's talking about, and that is the NECA video game line, which is without a doubt NECA's least popular Turtles line. So I really think it's a funny situation that the most easily available figures to get from NECA were the ones that nobody really seemed to want. So right around the same time that the movie line and the toon line were heating up, the video game line was starting up as well. There had been a couple Comic-Con exclusive sets like the original Turtles, and then there was Shredder with a few foot soldiers that were exclusives for San Diego Comic-Con in 2016, but this was essentially their first crack at a regular retail line. Instead of just taking the Comic-Con exclusives like they did for the movie line and the cartoon line, they actually started a brand new line for the video game. So instead of just being the video game line, it was actually the Turtles in Time line, and I was really excited about this. Before Shredder's Revenge came out, Turtles in Time was definitely my favorite Turtles game up to this point, and I feel like that probably holds true for a large amount of the community. And I wasn't really aware how difficult NECA figures were to get at the time, but the fact that I could just go on Big Bad Toy Store and order that first wave made me really excited. And I'm pretty sure the Leonardo and Donatello were actually the first NECA Turtles that I ever got. I might have had Raph and Leo from the movie line first, I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I definitely know I had those before I actually had any NECA Toon Turtles. A lot of people kind of look at it as an unnecessary line or redundant line, because at first they were just using the same exact molds for the Toon line as they were for the video game line, so I can understand why everybody liked the aesthetic of the Toon Turtles better than the video game Turtles to begin with, but to me, I feel like these sculpts worked better with the video game line. These sculpts were originally made for the video game figures. And yeah, the deco's kind of nasty in the teeth and stuff like that here and there, but for the most part, I like the dark colored pupils, and I do like the cell shading on these figures. I think they do stand well on their own, and to me, I felt like they were different enough to keep that line going along with the Toon line. The Bebop and Rocksteady especially are their own designs, and they're probably a couple of my favorite NECA figures, period. The big thing that set these Turtles apart from the Toon ones, they come with the surfboards, and that is an excellent accessory. For display purposes, I love the way the Turtles look on those surfboards, and if I had more room, I'd have the foot soldiers back on them as well. And they did hit us with a bunch of really cool accessories, like Baxter has that laser hand thing, and Shredder has his cool flame hand effect as well. But NECA decided to kind of put that line on pause for a little bit, and they wanted to start focusing on the comic line, which ended up kind of being like 3 comic lines that we're getting. We have the regular Mirage line, the Archie line, and the IDW Ronin line from NECA right now. At this point, between all the comic lines, we already have more figures than we do for the video game line. And I understand why they wanted to go the comic route. People have been clamoring for it for a long time, and all 3 are really great lines. The Archie line is one I don't collect. I have the Slash figure, and that's probably the only one I'm going to get from that line, but it is a great line, and there's a lot of great figures in it. With how few video game figures they're putting out, I don't see why they couldn't keep trickling those out as well. I feel like it was almost 3 years ago at this point where NECA first started giving us the checklist for all their lines, and if you remember back, the video game line showed some figures that never actually got put out. It showed the Trag and Granitor and a couple foot soldiers that were different colors that came with cool accessories, but we never ended up getting those figures before the line went on hiatus. And I feel like that's a huge bummer because honestly, I feel like it's at the point where it's almost too late to give us those figures now. The foot soldier molds are 8 years old at this point, and Trag and Granitor were figures that came out in 2020, so they're definitely due for an upgrade in the Toon line as well. So I feel like if NECA does want to bring the video game line back, they're pretty much going to have to start from scratch. I feel like they should just use completely new molds for all the characters. The Slash figure especially could be updated with the new Archie Slash, and I feel like that figure would be one of the coolest figures if they did that. We have new molds for the Turtles that they can use. Shredder desperately needs a new mold for both the Toon line and the video game line. And as much as I still would like to get those Trag and Granitor figures, I feel like they would just feel a little bit dated at this point, which would be kind of a bummer. I honestly would like to see it come back as a complete video game line as well. I think we would all love a Tora figure. I just talked about him in the most recent episode of the podcast. It was a figure that I feel like I wish Playmates would have made when we were kids, because outside that video game, he's gotten no love since then, and he's a cool looking design, and I personally would love to get that figure. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys miss the video game line, or is it a line that you don't care if it ever comes back or not? So thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you for liking my videos, commenting on my videos, and just being awesome. So that's all I got for you in this one. So take it easy, be safe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.